ran back over here to the patio, coming off of here, straight out, and then we're going into a curve with an arc right around that. And then what we're going to do is bubble it past this corner a little bit and back in. That gets them a nice place tucked over here for their grill. So we'll go ahead and get that dug out and get some forms on the ground. It just let up raining. Oh my gosh. So that came together real nice. We have about 2 to 3 inches 2B limestone in here. No need for compaction on that. It's 2B limestone. When we're only putting it down 3 inches, no need for compaction. This ground is really hard, real nice shale. We pushed all the topsoil out. Steps are in place. You see what we did here. We just took our step liner and radiused it right around there, so that'll leave a real nice curved step on there. Need a little filler piece for in here. I think Matt's looking for that right now. We'll use these old holes for our rebar. We'll go ahead and tie it back into there. And of course you see the piece of siding I broke last week, so we've got to swap that out. Decent size shape. It's 25 by 21. So we'll go ahead and get this poured tomorrow morning. We just swept the driveway off for today. We're gonna make it, we're gonna truck the concrete up with the power buggy, so we're gonna splash that up tomorrow. So we'll power wash it when we're done. A little bit of cleanup out here and we are good. Okay, good morning everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Concrete with the Hosses. It is still really dark out this morning, so you're not going to be able to see too much. But we have our rebar up on chairs. Step liners are all in. I'm getting ready to spray them. Mixer's out front mixing up. And we are all ready to go. Hopefully the sun comes up real quick. So I'll get the camera set up and get this patio poured. Okay, pouring is going good. Steps are all floated in. They're holding real nice. Just working our way out. I don't know how much of that you saw. It was kind of dark when we started pouring. So we have all that up on chairs. As we dump, we'll put this on chairs. I'll send you with Steve to get a load of concrete. One-handed scrape. Hit the wall? Oh, gotcha. Back up. Steve, you made a mess of the driveway.
I was under strict orders from the boss. He said, I don't care about the driveway.
Oh, did he now?
So, that's what he said.
Okay, waiting on the last little bit of concrete. Looking pretty good. We just try and hit that last one right on the money. Tom's scraping the chute real good. Keep our cleanup to a minimum out there. And yes, we are going to power wash the driveway. Okay, that's the last of it. And now the fun part. At least we have a hose. Usually we got to do this in a wheelbarrow. It's like Christmas morning, huh? A little gift. Better than Christmas morning. Anyway, it'd be better if there was nice thick bacon. So this patio gets a 1 foot border. So here's our border tool. You edge it. At the same time, you put a 12-inch groove in it. And what I typically do, well, of course this is curved steps, but I'll probably still do it. I'll take this and take it right up to the corner of the step. And this will all be border. Oop, got a drip right there. So we just continue this all the way around the patio. As long as the concrete's wet enough, you can see how easy this process is. Concrete gets a little bit tight, you're really working to get that in. So get on it soon. Concrete's nice and soft yet. One important note though, whenever you're running your tool cuts or saw cuts, make sure you're running it all the way to the edge. That way any water in here will drain out. So make sure you give it some relief that way. I'm going to go ahead and set the camera up over here. So there it is, all cut in. One thing you want to pay attention to on the long straight sides, if there's a bump or a wiggle in that, it really highlights it. You can see down there about 3 foot off the wall, we have a little bump, and there might be some debris caught behind here. That's exactly what it is. It's caught in here that held that out just a tiny bit, but you can see it in that. So we'll correct that with a straight edge once it gets tighter. Just want to pay attention to that. On the long straight runs, you can really see that. So concrete's real wet. We'll just take a break and get cleaned up. So we just power wash the mats when we can before we throw them on the trailer. If we don't, they get stacked too high and everything wobbles on there. So it's nice to keep them as clean as we can. Keep them a little bit lighter too. So the concrete's getting tight enough, we're going to start troweling the edges, cleaning up the joints, and I'm going to jump on over there and take care of those steps. Okay, so everything is all cleaned up and ready for stamp. I don't know if I can get a good angle on that. I just free-handed that tool cut in. I think it looks kind of neat, winding in there. So we'll go ahead and do our slate texture on the border. There we go. Get you a good shot at the steps. And then this is all Majestic Ashler slate. So that's the front steps. Texture in the border, as well as the wall. So we'll get a couple of those floppies going down here, and we'll also floppy inside the border as well. You want to switch tops? We got a long way to go. Got it?
Got it.
So we just relay these off. That went really well. So as always, I stand back. You want to see these mortar joints nice and straight. So when we saw cut that, we can just pick a joint. You know, here's one that's almost 3/4 of the way through it. Steve works out in front of that step, and we are about done. And down to the last stamp. Notice how we have a couple floppies laying on the border. Steve can work right off onto that. You can do this with our liquid release, or you can do it with the dust. The nice thing about the liquid is, as he peels that back, you can see any missed spots, so you can re-stamp if you need to. The dust is real hard to tell if you got good impression or not. Looks nice. Alright. So we stamped right up to the border. The floppies help protect that for our walking, and the stamps laying on it. Steve will just touch up the edges, bringing those cuts all the way to the edge. If they don't come to the edge, it looks kind of fakey. Like this one here needs run.
Fakey.
Fakey. Like stickage. So tomorrow we'll put a couple saw cuts in it, right off of this corner.
Alright, so here's an up close view. Now this is before we put the antiquing on. So right now it looks pretty bare, pretty monotoned. However, you can still see all that texture. So now when we put the antiquing on, it's going to settle down into all these textured areas and really give it that real life look. Okay, so we are back over here at this patio that we poured and stamped last week. I stopped over this morning to put our antiquing color on it. It was Colina Tan, and it was the water-based permatique. So no matter how many times I say it, probably 50% of the time we get a call saying that after we put the color on, it dried, it looks real chalky, it looks really dull, there's no contrast or anything. That is completely natural. I cannot stress this enough. That is completely natural. It will go back to looking like this. Just whenever it dries, I mean, the antiquing is a powder, so powder is pretty chalky. So we have our sealer in our sprayer here, and we have our shield. I'll get half of it sealed, and then I'll go ahead and show you guys what a difference it makes. Okay, so here you can see the difference between the stuff that's sealed. See how you can see all that color, all the variation in the textures there. So that's the sealed stuff, and this is unsealed. This looks really dull. There's, you know, not a whole lot of contrast there. So that's what the sealer does, and that's what I try to tell everybody. And again, probably about 50% of the time, but you know, I get it. People are paying money for this. They want it to look great. If they have a question, you know, happy that we are an approachable company that people feel comfortable calling with questions. So I'm going to go ahead and get this all sealed up and head off to the next job. Okay, there it is. Stamped Ashler Slate. I believe the base color was Harvest Wheat, and the antiquing color was Colina Tan. Now once this sealer dries, it's still going to have a pretty high sheen to it, but you're going to be able to see a lot more of the color between the sealer drying and the concrete curing. But man, does that look sharp.
this wraps up another one of our backyard patio projects. Hope you like the transformation from the plain concrete to the new decorative. It was a lot of fun doing it. Join us for the next one.